Hey you guys, if you are thinking about selling your home and you want to understand what pricing strategies are out there, this video is for you. And I'm going to break down, there's 3 different pricing strategies to be aware of, because when you sell your home, you are going to have your listing agent sit down and talk with you, and not every agent's going to explain pricing strategies. They're usually going to just give you the comparable sales, kind of tell you the basics of what's going on in the market, and ultimately you get to decide what you want to list your home for. They can make recommendations, but it's up to you. We're just here to help facilitate the transaction, do what you want to do when it comes to selling your home. And there's legal reasons for it and all of that too. So it's just very important though, when you are a seller, when you get to that point, knowing the options that are available to you, if you don't have an agent explaining this to you, can be very helpful. And it can also give you a determination on what type of agent you're working with, and if they're not explaining pricing strategies, that might not be the right agent for you, if that's something that's important to you, which is important to me. And this is why I'm sharing this with you, because I find that educating my clients, not necessarily on every facet of buying a house or selling a house, but at least know enough, what I say, to be dangerous. Like, you know enough so that you're not going to get screwed over, basically. Like, you don't need to know every little last detail, but you kind of need to know enough to where if somebody says something that's wrong or that's going to give you misinformation, you kind of are aware and you kind of fact check and double check what you're being told. So that is what I try to do for my clients each and every day. And this is what I'm here to tell you guys about. So it's kind of a 3-part series for you, because it can get kind of lengthy, and the 3 different strategies, and they're pretty basic. You're gonna, once I tell you, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But there's overpricing your home, pricing your home at market value, and then underpricing your home. So I'm going to talk about each one of those in this little mini series, but the things to really consider when you are looking at what type of strategy to use, it's going to be coming in 3s. There are 3 things that you need to look at. First thing is what type of, sorry, I got my fork here. I'm about to eat my salads. I'm waiting in the drop-off line for my daughter right now at school. It's gotten kind of long, but anyway, so the first one is you got to look at what market we're in seasonally. So we have the spring market, which is the busiest time of the year. The summer market, that usually, depending on where you're at, is a little bit less busy just because people are going on vacation. But like, for instance, in Amador County, a lot of people vacation here. So we get a little bit busy sometimes, people looking for vacation properties and things like that. And then the fall market is most of the time, most areas outside of Amador County will get like a little uptick. Not as busy as the spring market, but a little bit busier than the summer market. And up here, kind of from spring to fall, we're all kind of pretty busy. And then the winter lull. And this is where it's about mid-November till about early January. So I always say, like, it's like Veterans Day to Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Like, that time frame is usually the slowest part of the year, because depending on the year, you know, you could have snow up country and people don't really want to be driving around in the snow looking at houses, or it's rainy like today, it's really windy and icky out there, so people don't usually like to look at houses. Plus they're usually buying things for Thanksgiving, like a turkey and Christmas presents and things like that. They're not going to be looking at buying a house, so that's why it's usually pretty slow. But right now we're thawing out into the busy spring market, so that's something to look at when you are thinking of your pricing strategy. What season are we in? The second thing to look at is what type of market are we in, whether it's a buyer's market, seller's market, or neutral market. So for those of you that have been following along with me on my market update reports, I kind of give you an idea of how to look at this. And, you know, so just to give it a bare bones, buyer's market is when there's more houses on the market than there are buyers. So that means that buyers can pick and choose which house they want. So sellers will want to come down in price or be doing competitive offers or things to make sure that they get a buyer for their home. On the flip side, a seller's market is where there's not very many homes on the market, but there's a lot of buyers. And this is what was happening during COVID, where there was 5-10 houses, and then there's 50 buyers looking at these little 10 houses. So everybody was trying to outbid everybody, and this is where people are bringing in $50,000-$60,000 in cash over asking and what the appraised value of these homes were going for. So that is a seller's market. A neutral market, as you might guess, is kind of neutral. It's neither for buyers or for sellers. It's just kind of in the middle. But the pendulum's kind of going back and forth. So we're kind of, last month we were kind of trending towards like a seller's market. Now we're kind of going back to a buyer's market. So, and you've got to look at the third thing, which is what is our economy doing? And also politics have a lot to do with it right now, obviously, for all the things that are going on with Trump in office and all the changes that he's making and all the things that he's saying that he's going to remove, like the IRS. And there's so many things up in the air right now, but also the economy itself and what the economy is doing and what pain points buyers have right now when they're looking at getting approved to purchase a home. Because it's really expensive. Like for instance, right now, interest rates are still pretty high. And so buyers are having a hard time coming up with their down payment because things are expensive right now, right? With gas and groceries, and I don't need to probably tell you, but it's difficult for buyers to even come up with a down payment. So there's a lot of like first time buyer programs if it's their first home, or different programs that they can get into. Plus, a lot of these loan programs don't require a whole lot to put down on a home. So there's some things and strategies that they can use, but understanding your buyer's pain points when you're listing your home is really important to understand kind of how to position your property. So those are the three things to look out for when you are talking about the three options of what type of listing strategy or pricing strategy you're going to use. And stay tuned for the other three little mini series that I will be throwing out with these videos that explain in detail each one. So have a great day, guys. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Bye.